developer steps: code, compile, and execute. You did the coding, done. You did the compilation, done. How do I execute? We are not using any JCL any longer, guys. Okay, CSCS don't use JCL. So how do I execute? So far, guys, if I go back to our mainframe intro class about the mainframe connection part, I told you that in the ZOS operating system, there are two major environments. Guys. One is the TSO environment and the other one is the CICS environment. In the TSO environment, you will be having a production environment, test or development environment, a quality environment as well. In CICS also, you'll be having production, test or development and quality environment as well. Till today, guys, we've been using TSO only. In TSO, guys, if you talk about what you do, okay, we can code a program. Okay, it could be for the online programs or it could be a batch program. Both the programs you'll be coding in TSO only, even the BMS as well. Okay, code the BMS, because I can write like this: COBOL and BMS program. In TSO, you can compile any program, compile the programs. Generally using tools only you will do it. Whether it is a COBOL program or a BMS program, the compilation will be done through tools only, and you will be getting the loads also. Create the load here. In TSO only, all your data will be there, guys. It could be a data in a file. It could be a data in a table. It could be a file of test data or production. It could be a data for a table of test or production. Everything will be in TSO only. Everything will be in TSO here. But now when you come to CICS, guys, this one has two things. First, set up the components like your COBOL and your maps, BMS, and your files and your plans. You're going to need to set up the environments here. You will not be writing anything here. No coding here. Okay, no coding or no compilation here. Coding and compilation is done in the TSO environment, guys. CICS in the place will be using only for setting the environments and then execute the programs or maps, generally through transaction IDs. We don't write JCLs here. No JCL here. So if I have, okay, let's go in a technical way. If I have a BMS, load here, how to set up and execute? That's what your question should be. How to set up and execute? I'll tell you, I already told you as of now, theoretically, I told you how we write a COBOL, how write a BMS program. I told you how to compile it in a theoretical way. I told you. Now, once you assume that you got the load module, how you need to see the screen. Okay, how you need to see the screen. So for that, first you need to do a setup and then you can execute the load. So what is the setup I need to do here? Okay, what is the setup I need to do? For this first step, go to CICS environment. If you have not observed here, so far till today you went into TSO. So far till today you are into the TSO. Now from now onwards, once your program is compiled here, you're going to open a new session and go to CICS environment. You're going to log into the CICS environment here and then you're going to do a setup of the CICS control tables. Anything you want to execute, okay, anything in the CICS environment, anything we want to execute, we need to make an entry. We need to make an entry in this control tables, This control table is part of CICS component, guys. Okay, if I go more deep, okay, generally I don't need to tell you, but if I want to go for CICS components, you'll be having control programs, you'll be having control tables, and you'll be having control areas. Now, for example, guys, okay, I'll give a very good example to understand these three fellows. Suppose if I have a friend, okay, if he is staying in somewhere in another state, okay, or in another country, guys, I want to send a parcel or send a gift to him, okay, send a gift or send some package to him. Option one, guys, option one, I travel and I can hand over the package. That is option one. Option two, I can use a courier service and take their help to hand over the package. Okay, listen to the point here. Whenever I want to send any particular package to one of my friend who is out of the state or out of the country, I can send the packages in two ways. Option one, I can myself travel to his location, his place, his house, and hand over the package to him directly. That is option one. Option two is I can use a courier service and take their help to hand over the package. Now you take the example of courier service, guys. You take the example of courier service and put it yourself as a CICS there. Now, is the courier service will be handovering the package, or there will be a delivery boys to hand over, guys? In the courier system, guys, will the system itself will go and deliver the package, or the delivery boys will be there, or delivery persons will be there to hand over the package, guys?
Delivery persons.
That's your program, guys. Okay, in the CICS, if you want to execute your program, you will not do yourself. CICS has to do it. Okay, like I said, I will not travel and do a package handover, guys. I'll be using the help of a courier service. Within the courier service, there are internal programs which will be the task carriers, the courier boys. These are the task carriers. They will execute the programs. They will execute the loads, or they will do the connection part and everything here. Now, if my package, the second question is very simple and very important. If my package, guys, if my package has to deliver to a particular person, okay, if my package has to be delivered to that particular person, guys, the most important thing, there should be an address, right? If the package, what I just wrapped the package with a gold paper, guys, okay, and I made a big ribbon on that, will the package will go directly to my friend? If I just packaged it with a gold wrap and then I put a simple ribbon, guys, on a very highly costly ribbon I have kept here, will the package will be automatically delivered to my friend with the delivery boy, or I need to keep the address also there?
Address also will be.
Guys, we need an address there here. So the control program, guys, is a task carrier. But if you tell the program to run a load, you need to tell the name of the load. If you tell the system to connect to a file, you need to tell the name of the file. If you want to run a BMS program, you need to mention the load. So the control tables are your address, guys. This contains the component details. This component contains the component details like your program load, like your file name. This will be here. Even the DB2 plan also you need to mention in the control table. And this is simple, like the courier people will be using the truck or some vehicles to transport all those things. These are like memory allocators. These are memory allocators here. Now, as a sender, guys, as a sender, what is your responsibility? In these three steps, will you be deciding who will be delivering the package? Will you choose a delivery person, guys, or the system will choose? Anyway, so the point is very simple, guys. When you are sending the package, when you want to deliver the package to a particular person, guys, when you're using the courier service, the system will choose the courier person and they will deliver it. So the control program is not your work. Okay, the control program, which one to use is a system point. You don't need to worry at all. Now, as a package sender, guys, it is your responsible to give the address correct. So this control table is a developer work. Control area is also not your work, guys, because how the packages are getting delivered or transported is none of your point of nothing. Okay, so as a developer, guys, as a developer, we are responsible. Okay, we are responsible for the control tables. We need to provide, we need to define, or we need to make an entry. I would say this one as a word. We need to make an entry of our components to the CICS table or to the CICS system. So one of my component here is, okay, today my component guys, my component here is the BMS physical map, nothing but the load module, nothing but the load module. So the question here is, how do I make an entry here? Okay, how do I make an entry here? If you have a load module guys, if you have a load module, it could be a BMS or it could be a COBOL. We need to make an entry is required in a table called PPT, program processing table. Some dummy interviewer will ask you these questions. Okay, some dummy fellow will ask you full forms of these things. That's what I'm writing here. It's not important. You can remember the shortcut as well. A PPT entry is required. So to make a PPT entry for the BMS or the physical map, you're going to write two commands. You're going to make two command lines there. How to do that is very simple. On the CSCS screen, okay, you are still in CSCS guys, not in TSO. On the CSCS screen, which is a black screen, you'll be writing like this: CIDA define map set, name of the map set, and your application group name. Okay, your application group name here. Hit enter. System will show you that the definition of this particular one is successful. You'll never get error here, so it will be always successful. Then simply press F3, you will come out, you'll come back. Okay, this is true. Then on the CIDA command, you'll be using install. Okay, the next step, two steps are required: name of the map set and the group. So you need to mention these two things every map set in your program or in your CSCS. Again, hit enter. You can see define is successful. That's it. Guys, I may take a lot of words to write. Okay, this is what we call training explanation. But when you see in the project, when you see practically, you'll be writing only these two lines, not all these things. These things should be in your mind that we need to set up the components. This thing is the one that you need to type in the CSCS. So once you give define and install guys, the code will be set in the CSCS, like you are mentioning the address. Only one point to remember on this top here is define is one time. Okay, define component, define any component only one time. Okay, you don't need to change every time. It is one time setup only. Install guys, install any component of load guys, specifically load. You need to do it when you compile the program, when you change and compile the programs. So whenever there is a change in the program, you'll always compile guys, and whenever you compile guys, you'll get the new load version. Okay, you'll be getting always a new load version guys. So now whenever you are getting a new load, it will be in TSO. So you need to come back to CSCS and you need to do an install always whenever is a change in the program. This topic guys, this method or this process is called as new C. In short, that is new C. It's called new copy. That means you're updating the load copies with the new version. So for setuping guys, you need to do only these two steps. For execution, okay, for execution guys, and to see the screen, guys, for execution and to see the screen guys, what you need to do is in the CSCS only, you'll be running only one command. Okay, or else I'll write by a very better way. To see the screen guys, we need to use a CSCS command called send. Okay, using send command, you can send the data, you can send the map as well. You can send any data through program, that is through program, and you can also send the map also. Send any map to the screen as well. Now this send command is like your query guys. You can code it in the CSCS, itself, or you can code it in the program also, COBOL CSCS program. This is to do any manually guys. If you want to see a screen manually, if you want to run the screen automatically through process through your program, then you can use this particular way. Okay, either you can send the screen manually directly using send command, or you can put the command in the program and run it like a SQL thing. So if you are sending it manually, it will be like this: CECI send map, name of the map set, name of the map set here, name of the map set here. Hit enter 2 times. Get to see the screen. You can see the screen now. See the map. Again, I have written all the lines, guys, but you'll be writing only this one in practical. So far, guys, so far I told you how to code or what to code in BMS, then how to compile and why, what happens when you do compilation, and then I did set up and execute here. This is a theory of overview, guys. Okay, this is a theory of overview. I did not elaborate the macros. I did not tell how you need to design a field. How can you set a field on a screen? I did not elaborate that particular piece. Okay, if I tell you, I did not elaborate this piece, guys. The above one which I told you about the BMS macros and map set, those are good. The below whatever I told you here is perfect. The only thing that I have not elaborated now is the design part of the fields. But I will show them in practical all these steps so that you will have an idea first. Okay, you will have an idea here. So I'll go to TS4. Like I asked you guys, I want you to check your softwares are working fine. If so, at least you can practice couple of programs because it's already existing system. You just need to do some copy paste. Okay, I will show you, but you don't need to do anything here. So your T2 team, right? Yeah, so T1 is there. So I'll have a screen. Okay, I have a screen, any screen I can take, any small screen I can take. Okay, I'll take this screen here. This is my screen. I'll show you. Okay, this is the screen. Hi ASM here. So you have MSD, MDI and MDF here. These are your fields of macros. I'll explain these things in tomorrow's class. These are easy, guys. Don't get afraid of seeing all together today. Don't need to look into that. Just see the red color here, which are saying your macros. Then I'm going to compile my program here, which is map compiler. A basic map compiler, guys. It's a JCL. Okay, you know JCL, guys. Don't worry about JCL here. You know what is a JCL lib is, what is exit statement is doing, what is DD statement is doing. You know already. So don't get fear of that. I got successful for compilation. That is my TSO step. What I need to do is I need to go to the CICS environment. Till today you've been working with A and B, mostly B. Now you open CSNC here and go to CICS environment. Now it's like a DOS screen, which I showed you yesterday, MS-DOS, which is a black screen, guys, which is a black screen. You clear the screen and use the command cda define mapset mset add and the group. So your group is T2C. That's your group we'll be using. You can just create immediately here itself. So define successful. One new group has created. F3 and install. Hit enter. Install successful. Like if you see your notepad now, as I told you, theoretically I might tell you a lot of things, guys, to make you understand bit by bit, but practically you did only these 2 steps. Practically you did only these 2 steps. To explain you these 2 steps, I have to explain you the CSCS components. I need to give an example of a courier service. Then I need to elaborate where you will be using. So this theory is a knowledge of concepts, guys. Practically you did only 2 simple steps in fraction of seconds only, not even 100 minutes. Just in a seconds only you completed 2 steps. Now to execute, guys. Okay, now to execute here, you just need to run this command here. Send map name mapset name. So you are explaining the system to send a map of map add 1 and the map set. Okay, mset add. So I gave it correct setup there. So this is the map design, what you can see manually, what you can see it as manually, but you will not be seeing the screens manually, guys. The screen should be coming through programs for the interaction of users. So the same command, the same CICS command of send, you'll put it in the program as well to do an interaction. To do an interaction, you'll be keeping the same command in between like this, exit CICS. Instead of exit SQL, you'll be writing exit CICS and the send command. Exit CICS and the send command. So what I showed you so far, guys, is the overview of a BMS front-end screen part. What you need to learn is the words and what is the content I have clearly given to you. Tomorrow, guys, we'll repeat the class. Tomorrow, we'll elaborate the class, not repeat the class. We'll elaborate the class. I will elaborate each and every macro. Okay, in that there are some of them are very important. Like I'll tell you what is important here, how you need to see. Now, only in this piece, guys, okay, only in this piece, how many fields are there? Okay, let me tell you why you need to screen design. Okay, let me help you why you need to have a screen design knowledge first. So my question here, guys, on this highlighted box, how many fields are there?
Six fields.
No.
One field, all are of.
Completely no. One field is completely no. 6 is
Three fields.
No. Like I said, guys, if it is not important, I won't train it at all. I won't take your time, guys. Okay, you believe my training and you're coming to the class to understand something more important.
Two fields.
No. There are 9 fields on the screen on this box, guys. There are 9 fields. Let me tell you how the 9 fields came here. So this, what you are seeing is total 6 fields. Okay, 3 labels, 3 data fields. Those are 6 fields. Okay, now there are other 3 fields which are hidden, guys. If you're assuming these are the middle fields are there, Anil, these are your fields. No, no, not that one. Those are not the fields. See the cursor thing. Okay, look at the cursor there. When I'm typing here 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the cursor jumping, guys. Look at the cursor jumping here. The cursor automatically jumps here. Why? Because there is a field over here, guys. There is a hidden field here, which is called a skipper field. Technique of design, guys, called skipper field. And you see here the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see the place of a cursor there. I cannot type anything now. I cannot type anything. This is called stopper fields, which will not allow the cursor to move forward. There are fields which will skip the cursors. There are fields which will stop the cursor, which we call it as skipper and stopper techniques. That is the reason why you need to know the screen design. That's the reason why you need to have these screen design concepts in your head, so that when you see a project screen, you will understand everything more than anyone. More than anyone. It won't allow me to give a value of alphabets. It won't allow me. It will allow me to type only the numbers. How? What is the background restriction is there? How have we designed to restrict only for numbers? Why the alphabets are not accepting? These all things, okay, including the cursor positioning, include the cursor positioning. You see my cursor always come to the first field. Okay, every time my cursor will be on the first field like this. A cursor positioning technique is required. A cursor positioning technique is required. So like I said, guys, like I said, everything is related to your work only. As and when you have more knowledge of this kind of information, so you can work with more confidence in your work. But again, this is only a piece of the knowledge that you must have. This is the place where you should be concentrating more, because this is the time, this is the place where you spend more time. This is good, but this is the best thing that you need to learn, because the data is the one which is key to everything. If you know how to access the data, you can write a logic by your COBOL knowledge. So tomorrow we'll deal with the screen design and we'll complete this piece completely. If I have time, then we can start at least with some of this as well.